amazing poet who is from Columbus, Ohio, who, when I first found her, I was like, where was my life before her? Because she makes every moment in her life come off on the page in a beautiful way. And she is going to tell you a little bit about herself before she reads, because she has a lot of accolades and beautiful things and many books. And I want you to check her out on her website.
I'm telling you nothing. But I am going to read some poems from my second book, and I realized I'm so tired of this book because I've been traveling a lot since it came out in April and reading a lot from it, and I told my publisher it's sort of like Weekend at Bernie's, where it feels like by the time the book comes out, it's like this dead thing that you have to staple a toupee on and put sunglasses on and give a drink and prop up someplace and then pretend it's still alive and sort of reanimate it each time that you give a reading. So I thought about reading new poems, and I'm like, no, I am dedicated to this book. So I'm going to read some poems from it. It's a lot about fairy tales. It's called The Well Speaks of Its Own Poison, and I'm going to not read fairy tale poems because I'm so tired of reading fairy tale poems.
Read a fairy tale poem.
So just stop. Just stop. I'm going to read some Ohio poems. This one's called Ohio. And it has an epigraph from a poem by William Matthews, which is Ohio, 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 often I sing to myself all day. And is that a tattoo or what? But don't do it. I'm calling dibs. The landscape sings in you like a dial tone, flat and constant, a trick of patience, but your own voice rasps, always on the verge of breaking. Hear the trees' shadows slant so crisp on the lawn, you can walk the branches, veins in a papery eyelid. You can climb without leaving the ground. Clots of sunlight are like nests in these branches, assembled rather than deposited. Listen as bird songs repeat, record skipping, Ohio, Ohio, Ohio. Each persistent melody chips away at the air, shaving the sky into tissue-thin curls that float down like leaves. Like a moat of lilacs and lamb's ears, the garden circled your house. You pinched snapdragons to make them mouth your words and ate berries that stung your mouth. A little poison would strengthen and sing in you. All light was piecemeal. Your shadow was so tall, sometimes it escaped you. Riding home from Sequoia Pool in the family Volkswagen, you and your sisters peeled your thighs from the back seat's hot vinyl. The seatbelt buckle branded its open mouth into your waist. That burning was a song, Ohio, Ohio, Ohio. As a child, you drew yourself inverted with skin on the inside, with refrigerator magnets arranged all over you like organs, red ovals, circles, coils. Vulnerability can turn a body inside out. This is what no one tells you. Remember Fur Elise muffled in the evenings, your sister's foot on the piano pedal, the television muttering its litany of commercials, your mother's velour robe buzzing and snapping with static. Next door, the neighbor's dog barked incessantly, the looping soundtrack of the cul-de-sac where you rode your banana seat bike in figure eights. Like a nest, memory is assembled. You imagined that you were born from no one, belonging only to yourself. Once you stayed up late to watch the sun materialize like credits at the end of a film. When your breath vanished from the glass, it was as if you'd never stood there, planting your cloudy kiss on the window. Its edges closed in, a trick of patience. This is what no one tells you. This place raised you as one of its own, blue as ink and almost as useful, sturdy and good with your hands. But there's darkness you've never seen, not even through your eyelids. A piecemeal light clothes everything in scraps. Ohio, 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 flat and constant as a dial tone. It sings in you It verges on breaking. So a long time ago, maybe, 10 years ago, I lived in a little place on Arcadia across from the high school. And there was a school bus stop right in front of our house. And the robotic school bus voice used to wake me up in the mornings. I did not know that school buses of the 21st century talk, but they do. And this poem is called Mental Note. It is so early, the school buses are talking. All night, cars drove lights across the wall, the shapes interrupting my sleep. My dreams are so obvious they condescend. For example, last night I wore a sweater monogrammed with someone else's initials. I mime writing this with an invisible pen on my left palm. Mark this spot or turn down the page. You'll want to come back here. Sometimes you wear the name of a stranger as your own. You swerve the car to avoid the shadow of a bird on the street. It is so early. Is that a window or a snapshot of a window projected on the wall? My head rings maybe, like a French telephone. Outside, the robotic voice of a school bus herds children safely onto the sidewalk. Please step away from the school bus. The school bus is about to move. Thank you. This is called Manic Panic. There's a Finnish phrase that roughly translates to how sad everything and how inexpensive to say it out loud. But there's like a way you can use inflection to make it say how sad and how cheap to say it out loud, which is a different thing. And so I use both of those in this poem. Manic Panic. If you lie still and concentrate, you can forget your body and float like a balloon to the ceiling where plaster stars prick like thumbtacks. So scoured out, you can't feel anything, like the pink-haired girls who butcher their arms. Come down. There is no merit badge for levitation. You can leave your body, but it will pucker and fall eventually, snagged in bare branches, which like antenna receive signals too high-pitched for us to hear. How sad everything, and how inexpensive to say it out loud. The hills smoke like a motherboard. Feeling bad has never felt better. Think the green-haired girls who brand the smiles of lighters into their thighs and wear striped stockings so tight the stripes distort. You're not like them. They're still trying to live the days of manic panic and bar marquees where all the L's were sevens. How sad everything and how cheap to say it out loud. The hills smoke like mothers, like purple-haired girls. Stretched taut, filled with nothing, you rise. Okay, one last one. This is kind of a bridge poem in more ways than one, in that it bridges from the first section of the book to the second section of the book. But it's also a poem about a bridge. It's called Suspension. Once you cross, as you must, you cannot go back. There is nothing to retrieve. When the bridge catches fire, leave it all. Your hair, your hands may be lit. If you take photographs into your arms, they too will burn. You can see the lights of the city you left behind, but in miniature from the distance, a diorama. When the bridge falls, the smoke of its scaffolding hangs in the air, burning our eyes. This is architecture in the new world, the mere shadow of structure, the suspension bridge refusing to suspend. To be light enough to cross, you must be less of yourself. Remove everything down to your wristwatch. Whittle yourself to transparency. Cross the bridge as it burns, sparks in the wisps of your hair, and don't look back. It is already turning to smoke. Soon it will not hold you. Thanks so much for having me.